It's spooky season, everyone. You know what that means. Halloween is approaching. How are you doing? It's Carrie, aka Nerdygirlcreates. Welcome back to my channel. And for the month of October, I thought we'd take a look at some of the creepiest, most terrifying, most horrific, and yet some of the most hilarious supernatural manga series out there. Today we're going to take a look at a legend, but before we get into that, let me remind everybody to please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. I see a lot of you watching, but not a lot of you subscribing. So if you enjoy this content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted when a new video is up. And please watch to the end of the video because not only does it help the algorithm, but I will have information for you on some manga deals. Now the legend we're talking about is the one, the only Junji Ito. You know the man. Uzumaki is the series we're going to talk about, and let me tell you, I will warn you now, if you're not into body dysphoria, or if you're not into really creepy things happening to bodies and you don't like certain types of creatures or anything that's a little gory, I would say do not read this series, okay? Because Ito does not hold back from doing some of the most creepiest things you've ever seen. And Uzumaki, not to be confused with that blonde, blue-eyed ninja boy, is a series about a small town that is infected by spirals. Yes, the shape of spirals. Now, it focuses on two main protagonists. That is Kira and her boyfriend Sayoto. Now, the series is broken down into chapters, and each chapter focuses on a different event and a different type of spiral. And it starts off very small in the first chapter. It's actually more Sayoto's story in the first chapter because it's his family that's infected by the first spiral. And his dad becomes kind of obsessed with the shape of spirals, whether it be a bug, a kind of animal that has some type of spiral shape in it, like a snail, or a pottery that has the design of a spiral. And it drives him crazy to the point he does something really terrifying with his body. And there's a downward spiral within the family that where Sayoto is like left traumatized, and Kira is trying her best to try to like comfort him and keep him from going over the edge. He is well aware what's going on in the town. He knows it's spirals that is affecting everything. He even tries to talk his girlfriend into leaving in the beginning, but she at first is not convinced. But as time goes on, things do convince her. And what's really interesting, like I said, each chapter is broken down where a different event in the town with some different characters, with the exception of Sayoto and Kira, who will continue to appear in each chapter. There's a different type of spiral, and the way Ito uses the shape of spirals in a terrifying manner is really well done. I mean, and his spirals are not just limited to just like shapes. It also goes into nature, it goes into animals, it goes into water, it goes into storms, it goes into a whole bunch of different type of things. Anything that can form the shape of a spiral, he pretty much uses. And the chapter focuses on somebody getting affected by that spiral and how what it does to them. There's even one chapter where a bunch of people are affected physically by a spiral that disforms them into something would normally not be a terrifying being. It'd be something people just pretty much ignored. But again, he makes it so creepy and terrifying. It's like, oh, it's amazing. And it's also his writing. His writing is able to build up a very psychological element to it. You know, you start off kind of like the two main protagonists. You're kind of like, what the heck's going on? Like, really? Are you kidding me? And you start to watch things decline, and you can start to see the decline in the main two characters being affected by this, and how it's tearing their world apart, and how it's psychologically dragging them down. So, not only is he visually a great artist, but he is also a great writer when it comes to doing the horror genre. And this story itself, like, you would not think of some of the stuff he uses to create terror. You would think, really, he's using what to do what? But it's so well done. And in manga, it's really hard to sometimes depict certain types of scenery because they don't use color a lot. And despite there being maybe a couple of color pages in here, it's usually in the beginning and the middle of the book. Most of the book is still in the traditional black and white and even grayscale, but he manages to use that to his advantage to kind of depict these scenes. And it is creepy. I mean, if Stephen King in his earlier days was able to draw, he would be on par with Ito. Okay, because Ito just has both elements, and that helps him bring across this even more so in a terrifying manner. I love the word terrifying today because it fits in with the theme. So, yes, I know I've said it 100 times. But it's just like, and you think, okay, what's causing this? How can they get out of this? And you don't know where it's going to go. You really don't. You think, okay, they can't be, affected by this forever. Or they got to solve the mystery of what's causing this. And it's kind of like Ito's not really focused more on that. He just wants to focus more on how this affects people physically, mentally, how it's destructive to the town itself. Um, and it's just like he does such a great job pulling you into this. Like you want to know like how this is going to get resolved. Um I wouldn't say it's perfect by a long shot because I did want some kind of resolution to all of this, and he doesn't necessarily give you that. So if you're looking for some conclusive ending, you're not really going to get, at least not the type you were hoping for. He's more about like just showing you horror in the sense that horror doesn't always come out with a happy ending. But I just I see why so many people talk about Ito, and I really want to read more of his stuff. I know he just dropped another book. I'm not sure. I don't think this one is short stories because he's also famous for doing a lot of short story mangas. But this one, it's called coming out, or it's out. It's called Black Paradox, which takes on a theme that you know might be triggering for some people. It's just supposed to be just as disturbing because Ito does not shy away from disturbing. Warning, okay? Anything like that you think could trigger you, he might do. All right. So if that's not your cup of tea, then avoid Ito as all at all chance. Okay, you have. Don't even pick up the books. But I think, you know, his ability to combine the visuals with his storytelling is done really well. Like he does things that's just like I don't want to ruin anything because if you do want to pick it up, I mean, for me to tell I might have even already given away some stuff. But it's really hard because it's like every little thing plays into it. You think every chapter is a standalone, but in the end they all tie up together because it is happening in the same town. The same two protagonists are involved in almost every chapter. It's just each chapter focuses on other characters getting affected by the spiral while the other two are witnessing it. And I think that's also a very interesting take on it. Like at times, yes, one of those protagonists might be the main character, but most of the time it's them witnessing something happening to somebody else and them trying to save that other person. And it's good. I like it a lot. I mean, if you have no problem with grotesque, you have no problem with like certain types of visuals, I would suggest reading this, especially for this season if you're looking for something creepy for horror, for Halloween, all that. I cannot talk. But yeah, I would recommend Uzumaki. It has nothing to do with Naruto. I know, bad jokes, bad jokes. But yeah, Uzumaki, it's a big book, but I don't feel like it's a long read. Okay, so when you get it, you might be intimidated by the size of it, but don't be. I think it moves along pretty quickly, keeps you interested enough to see what's going next. But that is my first recommendation for Halloween would be Uzumaki from Junji Ito. Now, speaking of manga, if you're looking for deals, especially on Ito, may I recommend Right Stuff Anime. They have a whole wide selection of deals on manga, anime, merchandise, even graphic novels. So if you're looking for some good old Marvel, DC, and even some indie lines like Image or Dark Horse, check out Right Stuff Anime. I have their link down below. It's my affiliate link, so please use that one. Also, again, do not forget Tuesday nights is Otaku Tuesday. Me and the squad get together and we talk about the latest news in manga, anime, and much more. Sometimes we go off the rails, but it is always fun. So please join us for that. It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday nights, Taco Tuesdays. Check that out. Also, I will be having an Indie Friday video this week. I know I've not been having it for the last couple weeks, but I'm getting back on track and I'm going to do the same thing with my indie comics. I'm going to focus on some supernatural ones. So please check that out on Friday. Also, again, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. If you have any suggestions or if there's any favorite horror manga series that you think I should read, go ahead, comment down below. Are you a fan of Ito? Are you not a fan of Ito? Who are you a fan of? I love to hear it. Please tell me. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.